Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to talk about a little bit of a controversial topic, and it is something that I have discussed in my channel before, and a lot of artists are going to be disappointed when I say this, but like flat references are not that bad. Like there's that idea, and I also shared it, that's why I discussed this in my videos before, and that is that you need to have interesting shape language to make your portraits look great. So while I finish the sketching part of the drawing, let me show you what I mean. So if you look at a reference like this, the face is being lit up by the source of the light in an interesting way. As you can see, there are a lot of shapes and there's a lot of room to work with. And it is this shape language that really makes it fun and makes it more interesting and captivating to look at. But if the person is being lit up by just one source of light from the front angle, like this, I'm sorry, that's the wrong photo. I mean this one. And you can see there's not enough exciting information to keep the viewer interested to look at it. And not to mention, it is so much difficult to make drawings like this because the value changes are really so subtle and it's hard to negotiate with it. And like, I totally understand why every artist, including myself, doesn't choose references like this, but just for a change, I think it is really fun, especially if you like take it as a challenge, because believe me, it is challenging as hell. Again, as the value changes are going to be really subtle and you're going to be looking for like minute subtle shifts of values and the shades just like coming in and going away in between. But here's why you should just try it, even if it is a challenge, because number one, if you're used to using those references in which the subject is being lit up in a really interesting way, the references are going to be doing most of the heavy lifting. Even if you're not that good at drawing, if you can still compose the shot perfectly, that drawing will still look good. Granted, it is not perfect, but it'll still look alright and it'll get a pass. And the reference is doing most of the heavy lifting. If you don't know, if you have not made enough portraits, you don't know, but references can be doing most of the heavy lifting, even like 85%, I'd say. Because see, it's all about the references, it's all about capturing the beauty of the subject that you're seeing. And if you're always cherry picking those subjects, then you're kind of taking away the opportunity from yourself to learn more about like the technical skill of it all. And it is so hard to get like a flatly lit reference on the subject in the right way, because see, if you have a subject that is lit up in a really interesting way, you have like a composed shape value kind of a scheme going on. And you can see, like, if you squint your eyes, you see those shapes like, okay, that's a dark value over there and the zygomatic bone is catching a little bit of a light, and you can have all those kind of thoughts or like not even think about it, and I can promise you that it'll still look all right, better if you compare it with like a reference that is flatly lit. And another reason why you should do this as a challenge is that you'll learn so much more about values than you would when in your interesting references. See, with these references that everyone should use, they're doing again most of the heavy lifting, as you can kind of wing the values, the kind of toy around with it, and you may not get the values correctly, but if the values correlate to each other in the correct way, then you're golden. And I'm saying the word correlate, and there's a reason. And the reason is that when we are seeing things in nature, when we are seeing things in general, we don't really see things in isolation. Like no man is an island, and just like that, no view, no value is like taken into consideration as an isolated value. Is almost perceived in comparison to whatever is sitting right next to it. Even when you see oil painters mix their paint, they don't really have a white palette. They have like a gloss, or either it's going to be a grayish neutral kind of a palette, because they don't want to misjudge the values, the hues, or the saturation. And that is exactly why you need some like flatly lit references in your like art journey, because see, then that's going to be when you're going to be doing most of the heavy lifting. And it also doesn't really give you any chances to like ease or like toy around with the values. See, if you misjudge the values in like a 3/4 portrait with like 3 sources of light, even the rim light on the side, then you can kind of misjudge the values, and if the correlation is still there, if the context is still there, it'll still make sense. But in like simple references like the one that I'm making right now, it's really going to push you. And see, even in my case, I have drawn like a lot of references which have like interesting shape language, so I really did struggle, because like I'm not really used to like controlling values in the harder end of things. Like, I'm not even kidding, this drawing did Like it is kind of making me want to like do a basic fundamental course of drawing. Like that's so because like that whole roadmap, the road that I take to like make a portrait, it does have some rough patches, and you only find those rough patches when you're doing something that you're not really used to doing. This reference, as you can see, there's not a lot of like softer shades in the face, and there's I use charcoal and 10B pencil in the hair, but like other than that, the whole face is just like 2B to H or like HB. It doesn't really go higher than that. Even with the eraser, you have to be really careful, as if you erase too much or press too hard or too little, you can really change the position at which the form change is taking place. And there's a lot of things like that. Like you even have to learn about, okay, how much of this eraser do I need to sharpen, and at what angle do I need to hold this to make that particular specular highlight. There's a lot, and I hope that something in this video does motivate you to pick up a boring reference. And yeah, this is the drawing, and yep, I will see you in the next video.